It's gonna take a while. I'm just gonna watch some bits while I'm.
Calls effects on your brain. Diary of a CEO.
I stopped drinking alcohol for this very reason. People don't know this, but I mean, I've probably mentioned it twice now on air, but I quit drinking alcohol about a month and a half ago, I think. And part of the reason is when I wore my whoop and then I had, I don't know, one glass of wine or two glasses or three glasses of wine the day before. When I woke up the next day, my heart rate variability was like flashing red. It was 30, 40. Typically, on a great day, my heart rate variability is 150, 140, which is strong. I know
Really
this.
strong.
I know this because I compete with my friends. But on a day where I had a glass of alcohol, it'd be flashing red and it would be 40. Also, if I was sick, it would be 40. Also, if I had a really stressful, unslept day the day before, it would also be 40. And the fact that alcohol was causing my heart to respond the same as a awfully stressful, unslept day or COVID, I thought, fuck that. And so that's part of the reason I quit drinking alcohol.
And now that you have brain envy,
Yeah.
you're going to have a healthier brain if you keep it away. Because
Right.
alcohol lies to us.
Alcohol lies to us.
Alcohol causes damage in the brain.
Really?
Even a little bit of alcohol causes damage in the brain. It disrupts something called white matter. So gray matter, nerve cell bodies, white matter, nerve cell tracts. So white matter is the highways in your brain that transmit information and impulses. And even a
What's and he's gonna say probably even a little bit disrupts that. What's crazy to me is the people that cope, like, and then you know that the industry is so corrupt that we have corrupt science that will write articles funded by the industry that says if you have a little red wine, it's shown to do this to the body. But the backdrop is a wave of negative effects on your body. They found that one positive thing. It's like back in the day, they used to be like, yeah, sugar is really good for you because it helps boost your energy. But they don't tell you all the negative effects of consumption of sugar. And then you have people that have become dependent on alcohol. It's become normalized socially. Muslims have it right, dude. I'm telling you, like alcohol, there is no benefits to drinking it. It used to be a ritual. You know, back in paganism and stuff like that, they used to mix herbs and mix a whole bunch of other ingredients and then mix alcohol with them because it would enhance the effect. And then you would drink it in a shamanic type ritual. Then it turned into like the blood of Christ. Because I remember as a little kid, I would go to the Orthodox churches here in Romania, and you would have to drink a little bit of wine, signifying the blood of Christ, stuff like that. But again, ritualistic. It's just that humans are so degenerate, man, for the lack of a better word, that we take something that was ritualistic and then we incorporate it into the day to day because people can't control themselves, that lizard brain. And so now we drink beer and alcohol like it's water, and we regularly get plastered every weekend. And people will cope and say, like, a little bit's okay. What's wrong with having a little bit? Can I just live? Imagine needing alcohol to just live. Imagine thinking alcohol is fun. Imagine thinking like your reward to yourself is something that's frying your brain. You know, instead of changing your perspective as a man is so important, man. Look, instead of saying, I worked really hard, I deserve a drink, you should say, I work really hard, I deserve a walk in nature. I worked so hard, I kept consistent on my diet and my routine. I deserve to go see that waterfall the next state over. I deserve to go climb that mountain. I deserve a nice cold ice bath. I deserve to relax in the sauna. No, people say I deserve to relax with a brain altering and destroying chemical that makes most people feel like shit the next day. I deserve to have a drink. I worked so many hours today. Can I just come home and have a fucking beer, bro? How estrogenic is one beer? Let's look it up, actually. Here we go. And if you didn't think it was bad enough, just look at the physiques of people who drink excess alcohol or alcohol in general, beer guts, especially in men. But here's what it tells you, just so you can see for yourself, for the copers and the alcoholics in the comment section that need it for liquid courage. It says in a study from the Journal of Biochemistry shows that consumption of beer can enhance estradiol, a kind of estrogen presence in the body, and significantly obstruct the biosynthesis of dihydrotestosterone made from test. This can contribute to the increase of feminine characteristics in men. It's also correlated the drinking style, slow or fast, with hormonal imbalance. Another research paper published by blah, 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 it was indicated that beer or other alcoholic beverages, whether they're made of rice, hops, or barley, contain plant estrogen. She further found out through her analysis that excess consumption of alcohol can lead to men developing characteristics that of women, such as breast, bitch tits, female pattern pubic hair, etc. There has also been more science-backed data surrounding beer and phytoestrogens. One of the latest research findings identified the abundant presence of flavonoids, which act as phytoestrogen substances in beer and hops. Another study in 2021 concluded that beer has the most powerful phytoestrogenic identified to date. One of the groups even found that even a moderate intake of beer can trigger lactation in mothers owing to raised estrogen levels, although further studies are needed to come to a firm conclusion on this. While occasional consumption of beer may not, so we don't even know, influence testosterone levels as much, moderate to excessive drinking of any alcohol undeniably has an adverse impact on our health as well as body mass. An increase in weight has direct connection with reduced test levels. Nobody drinks moderately. Sorry, but
No, no.
moderately, what does that even mean? We have to define. That's probably like a glass of wine a day or every other day or a week or something like that.
That is too
So most
much.
people, when they go out and drink, it's not one beer. Dudes are regularly drinking a 6-pack. You're betifying yourself drinking alcohol. What's so cool about that? And it kills your gains. If you're a gym bro, any form of gym rat or attaining any form of physical perfection of yourself, why the hell would you even drink this poison? It's absolute garbage. Literal beta male activities.
Little bit of alcohol has been shown to disrupt the white matter in your brain. I don't want anything messing with the highways in my brain.
Literally.
But I love that you measured it, you made the connection, and then you stopped it. It's a sign of intelligent life because you love yourself.
Mm. Alcohol. Because there's a lot of people that are sat on the fence right now with alcohol. They probably don't have a really bad relationship with it. They're probably not alcoholics, but they kind of just, they have it because society is constructed in such a way that on a Friday evening when the waiter comes over and puts down the wine list, you just go, oh, okay, whatever. That's who I was. I was just on the fence. My friend, one of my best friends, was an alcoholic. So I understand why he quit, because he had this really dysfunctional relationship with it that would ruin his life. I'm the type of person that would have 1 drink, 2 drinks, and then I'd maybe stop. I didn't feel the need to have 3, 4, 7, 19. He was different. And also because of that, there was no adverse consequences in my life. So when I went away with him recently, he's writing a book on alcohol and alcoholism. He was telling me about the book, and I was going, I personally wouldn't read that book because I don't feel like I have a problem with alcohol. This was before I quit. So I was like, what I would love from a book, this is just me personally, is a book that made the case to people who are kind of sat on the fence that a drink or a beer or a glass of wine, just because, I don't know, society is constructed in such a way where it's hard to avoid. But they could go for a mocktail if someone gave them some performance-based evidence that
Man.
alcohol, just even a little bit, the casual drinking, actually matters. So this is where you come in, Doctor.
One of my biggest Instagram posts
Hello?
was
Video?
I Told You So.
What the fuck happened?
The American Cancer Society came out and said any alcohol increases your risk of 7 different types of cancer. And I've been talking about this for 30 years because I have scans.
The
And
fuck?
People who drink
If I die,
any
I'm gonna
alcohol
be
have
pissed off.
lower activity than people who don't drink at all. And obviously, alcoholics, they have terrible looking brains. Don't do that. But you got to ask yourself why. And remember, we talked about the 1-page miracle. What do you want? Relationships, work, money, business.
That's a bad question, man. Why? Why do you feel the need to drink? Why do all my friends drink? Why does society tell us drinking's cool? Who said drinking's cool in the first place? How did we all start drinking? You never asked yourself all these questions? I did when I was drinking. Why do I drink? My friends drink. I don't really like the way this shit tastes. It tastes disgusting. It's something you learn to like. Acquired taste is what they call it. It tastes and smells like dog shit. Alcohol does not taste good. Why are my friends drinking? Probably for the same reasons. They're drinking because everybody else was drinking before them. And society tells us it's normal. And we're probably all growing up watching TV, and they have these alcohol commercials showing hot women and dudes with a glass in a suit looking all nice, wealthy, exactly what we envision ourselves to be when we're all grown up, surrounded by
Video,
beautiful women
putang
at
ina.
a bar, beautiful smile.
The fuck? Fucking. My God. And this launcher too. What is this error, man? Fuck this game. Oh my God. Can you Dude. Temporary error record. Putang ina laro. Tang ina. I don't understand. What the hell is going on? The fuck? Wait, there's a back screen, I know, but I have to log in. Fuck this game.
Miles everywhere. In the center of the commercial is this shitty drink. Cool. So we're being brainwashed by a company that's looking to profit off of us, so it sexualizes and sells us alcohol and alcoholic activities. Awesome. Start drinking.
If I lose
Or
Crystal,
drinking
I'm
in
gonna.
the household, probably the same reason. Some of us lived in homes where we had alcoholics as parents and probably seen the actual damage from what happens when it takes over your life, or has seen people, homeless people on the street that were alcoholics, or had uncles or aunts or whoever that were alcoholics, and has seen how it damages you. So you take all this into consideration. And do you ever tell yourself, okay, well, I want to be my own person. I don't want to drink when we go out tonight. I don't feel the need to drink. The only reason I do is because I want to fit in. And I stopped drinking myself when actively going out with friends. And my friends would slowly stop as well. But I had certain friends that were absolutely dependent on the bottle. Whenever they went out or in a social situation, they had to have a drink in their hand. No matter what, had to have a drink in their hand. Or it was like a ritual for them. And they just felt weird without having a damn drink in their hand. Kind of like a smoker doesn't have a cigarette in their mouth, they feel weird. So they kept drinking over and over and would constantly look at me and, you're babying your drink? I stopped slowly. At first, it was just, that's it. I'm ordering one drink and I'm going to baby it the whole night. And all the ice is melted. My drink is watered the hell down. And I'm just going to hold it like this the whole night. And there would be awkward moments where friends are finishing drinks, taking shot. You want a shot, bro? Do you want a shot? Nah, I'm good, dude. I got my drink here. I'm good. I'm not taking shots tonight. I don't want to wake up feeling messed up. I don't want to throw up and black out. Okay, you sure? Try to goad you into it. Stop being a pussy, bro. Stop babysitting that drink.
I hate that.
I'll get you a shot. Don't worry. It's on me. Blah, blah, blah. No, I'm good. Don't need a drink. Or the next round comes up. Everybody finishes their mixed drinks. Again, you want some? Are you sure? Are you sure, bro? You've been babysitting that. Let me get you another one. No, I'm good, dude. I don't want to drink. I'm fine. I've had moments where I had to sleep in the parking lot, waking up the next morning, feeling like shit, or blacking out, not knowing how I got home. I'm good. So every time I went out, I would just only get one drink and didn't even finish it. Honestly, probably drunk just half. And then I would just go to the bar and order like a cranberry soda, no alcohol in it. And the bartender knew immediately, okay, like he's not drinking. So it looks like I have an alcoholic drink, but it's just a fucking cranberry soda, just normal. While everybody else is getting faded, I'm good. Cranberry soda or water. That was it. And then everybody else is getting absolutely toasted by the end of the night. And you see just how sloppy people are. And you see how gross it is to be around drunk people. The energy of drunk people in a drunk environment like a club
Yep.
and how sloppy and loose and uninhibited thoughts come out, and you start to see the real side of people where they don't filter their thoughts, and it's just disgusting to be around. And now when I go out, rarely, because I'm not the club type, but sometimes friends come into town for special occasions, birthdays, whatever, and I don't drink, and they don't ask you.
Alright, so can I use the green screen Russian dance for? Yeah, sure. Go ahead. It's okay.
Anymore. They know now. Now, coming here to Eastern Europe, where people drink a lot, where people smoke a lot, that pressure is back from family when I go to
Is my microphone on?
family
Okay.
events and kickbacks and whatnot, little parties. I get the same thing. It's like unheard of to not drink in Eastern Europe. Everybody's like taking shots, homemade stuff, of course. Oh, we have the best homemade stuff, It's from our own yard. Don't care. Not drinking. Are you sure you don't want to drink? It's like everybody's getting absolutely toasted on wine and moonshine, homemade goodies. I'm good, man. And they look at
Thanks,
me like,
but
what?
I'll leave a like
You
for you.
don't
I'll come
drink?
back and watch your stream.
That's so weird.
Thanks, man.
Just one shot. Come on, just one drink with it. Because that's
Thanks for stopping by, sir. Or ma'am. I don't want to assume your gender. She, they, her, Heil. I don't know. Sorry.
this is all they know. This is what they grew up around. This is the culture. But nobody sat around and asked why. But they all have beer bellies. And they all exhibit the estrogenic effects of alcohol. And their mind slips.
Yeah,
and
I
I
hate
see
that.
how they get more and more intoxicated. And then they'll like repeat themselves when they say something. Or repeat stories. I'm watching the mind slip. I don't want to be a part of that. I don't need that in my life. It does nothing for me. If you want to partake, I'm not going to judge you. Go ahead. I'm just searching for anything and everything that can help me maximize who I am as a person. Alcohol does not fit in that equation. And that's why I don't do it. And I understand that it's hard for some of the young guys because you're trying to fit in the environment, the peer pressure. It'll look extremely weird. Do what I did, bro. Just get a cranberry soda with no alcohol in it and babysit it the whole night. Or just tell them straight up, if you don't care about peer pressure, I don't drink. Or if you feel like you have to lie, say you're allergic to alcohol, you're allergic to hops, you're allergic to whatever. You don't drink. It messes up with your body somehow. You can't have alcohol. Simple.
Physical, emotional, spiritual health. So where does alcohol?
Whenever I say that to people, like I don't drink. So come on, like what should they say? Like, come on, like you need a break or something. Having a drink. I hate it. I used to love drinking. And not really love. Maybe just how should I say this? I'm a casual drinker. Then I heard a story of myself that I really had a bad drunk night that my mom was actually got worried about me. I hurt myself then. Like my foot is hurting. I don't know what hit me. Like I fell on something. I don't know. And never again. I don't want to drink anymore. Fuck that.
Come in to that. Oh, well, it helps me relaxed. Well, the 15-second breath will help you relax, but there are no side effects to it. That will increase your heart
Yeah,
rate.
exactly. How will you justify drinking? Like you cannot do that sober, like at all.
Variability, alcohol will decrease heart rate variability and brain function. And if it decreases brain function, it decreases decision making. As a psychiatrist, 30%, 40% of the people I see, they initially come to my office because it's somehow alcohol related. Fight with their spouse, problems with their kids, whatever. I'm so impressed. You noticed the difference with heart rate variability and then you stopped.
Yeah, because I was offensive with alcohol, and it's crazy. And I now understand how difficult it is to stop in our society. I was telling my team, I quit, and I went for dinner with a guy called Skrillex. Let everyone know Skrillex is a DJ, Sonny. And this was a week after I'd quit. Sat in the restaurant, the waiter comes over, bless him, and he goes, "Here's the wine list." I go, I don't drink alcohol." He goes and gets a bottle of wine, and he puts it next to me and goes, "This is not alcohol. This is art." I'm going to leave it next to you just in case you get tempted. And Sonny, to his credit, is telling this waiter, no, he doesn't drink. This waiter's having none of it. And in that moment, I understood how difficult it is to quit in a society that we've built, where every social interaction apparently needs to be fueled by alcohol. And if you say no, you're either weird or someone will try and change your mind or persuade you otherwise. It's just this culture we have.
The evil ruler society. That's an evil ruler strategy. The food pushers, the drug pushers, the alcohol pushers. For me, I look at people like that, and it's like, so why do you want me to drink when I don't want to? What's going on with you?
Yeah.
And it usually shuts them down. But why? Interesting question. When you go to a restaurant, the first thing they do is put bread on the table and ask if you want alcohol, because both of them drop your frontal lobes. Both of them make it more likely you're going to order more and spend more money at the restaurant.
Yep.
So the bread is an investment on their part, because bread gives you a sugar spike, a blood sugar spike, which then pushes serotonin in your brain and makes you happy. But serotonin drops frontal lobe function. One thing they never tell you when they give you an SSRI for depression is, oh, you're going to become a little bit more impulsive because it's going to drop your frontal lobes. And then alcohol, which also drops your frontal lobes. So you'll drop more cash in the restaurant.
Question then, on this point of alcohol. If I took two people off the street, let's say they do everything in their lives the same, other than what I'm about to say. I gave one of them a casual drink for the next decade. Just maybe 2 drinks a week, 3 drinks a week for the next decade. And the other person was completely sober for the next decade. When you looked at their brain in 10 years' time, if they were doing everything the same, would you see a difference?
Yes. The person who is drinking 2 or 3 times a week will have less blood flow in their brain.
And will that have changed the shape of their brain?
Yes, it'll be a little bit more shriveled.
And then that means their behavior is going to change as well.
They'll have a little bit less impulse control.
And when you look at the brain of an
a
alcoholic,
little bit less impulse control when you're doing hard things like marriage. Not a good thing. Or raising children or managing a business. It's like, you don't want.
What an excellent point. Something I didn't even think about. What you engage in shrinks your brain and lowers impulse control. That's a powerful factor to look for long term when you're vetting a mate. When you're vetting for a woman long-term marriage material, her relationship with alcohol should count. Not because she likes to get drunk and loose at clubs, not because she likes to have a bottle of wine every night and read a book, but because what it does to her ability to make decisions long-term when things get hard, or as time passes and damage accrues in her mind, what does that do to your marriage? Now, this goes both ways for women too. Like if you're a woman looking for a man and he drinks a beer here and there, that's a red flag. What does that do to a man's ability for impulse control as well over time? What does that do to his body over time? I mean, do you want to wake up 10 years later and your man's got a beer belly? Bitch tits? What's attractive about that? It'll be those dudes crying that their women left him. When we look at the before and after, that guy doesn't even look recognizable. Same shit on the other side where women are looking unrecognizable and men leave them. And some of the comments say, I've stopped a year ago and feel great. Loneliness is the first thing that will happen when you try to improve yourself. Man, that is the realest thing you'll ever hear. Loneliness is the first thing that'll happen to you. It's the crabs in a bucket mentality. I could stop at just that comment alone. Nobody really likes to see you improve in your friends group because it's a direct shot to their ego. When they see you do better, they feel insecure about themselves. You have to understand this about your friends and your family. This is every single person around you. When you're on the path of self-improvement, when you're actively fighting the demons that everybody's accepted in society as par for the course living life, they see you leveling up and it makes them feel less than you. Therefore, they can't stand themselves and will project that hate onto you. It's unfortunate, man. But that's the society we live in today. There's a bunch of weak people and a bunch of weak minds, and some of them will be in the comment section here coping with their love for alcohol or one drink every now and then, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. They have to convince themselves first before they convince the rest of the world. But they're always out here telling you how their relationship with alcohol is fine, bro. Why can't I just let, like, nobody? This message isn't for you. Live your life. This message is for people that feel like there's something wrong and they're asking the question, why am I even doing this? Is this beneficial to me? And they're looking to maximize their life. And that's who the message is for. Cope to yourself. We don't care to read about how your relationship with alcohol is fine, bro. Good. Go watch another video. Convince yourself. The clip came at the right moment. I stopped drinking 3 months ago, and last week I was nearly giving up. I went out with colleagues, and the feeling of shame for ordering Sprite while they were drinking beer was big. I never thought I would feel like this. Don't give up. We're on the right path. Stopped drinking alcohol 10 years ago, New Year's Day. Being an Australian male, it's part of our culture from 18 to 46. I was always up for it socially or in the shed with my beloved beer fridge. My kids who are 17 and 15 vaguely remember me drinking, which is a good thing. Now I spend my expendable alcohol money on mountain biking gear. Good job, brother. I quit drinking 5 years ago and it was the best decision I ever made. If someone asks you or looks weird at you for telling them, why don't you drink or why don't you smoke? And you can just simply tell them, that's an easy one to answer. My drug of choice is adrenaline. End it right there. Most people I've said that to paused and they're like, huh? Adrenaline? Yeah, I like to go out in the world and do cool shit. What do you like to do? You literally just flip it back on them. Yeah, I prefer adrenaline. Most of the times, they won't have anything to say. They'll feel insecure and be like, oh, adrenaline, wow, sick, bro. And just mock them back. Oh, yeah, you're drinking a beer, bro. Wow, life's great for you, huh? You feel the need to drink everywhere you go? Are you okay? Yeah. Stay strong, man. Create your boundaries. That's part of what being a man is. Boundaries. Don't let people convince you that you need a drink to be cool. Don't let people convince you you need to smoke or do fucking drugs or all this other dumb shit. They don't sign your paycheck. And once you start improving and surpass them, they most likely will not want to hang out with you anyway. These aren't even your real friends. Your real friend is an easy test that you have a real one around you. Tell them you want to quit smoking, drinking, or whatever vice you have. A real friend, even if they're involved in that vice, will look at you and go, I'm proud of you, bro. I really hope you can make that happen. I'd love to do it myself, but I'm struggling. A real friend will look at you and be like, I'm happy you're trying. Maybe you can motivate me to do the same. Fake friends around you will just shame you and try to make you feel less than because their own insecurities. You don't want to hang around those people. Those aren't the ones you want to have around you. Let me know what your guys' experience is, what alcohol is, and some of your stories and why you quit and how you're doing because I'm interested in reading some of that in the comments. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Hey everyone, if you have a minute,
and the common citizens.
what the fuck? Sorry. What should I watch? I don't wanna watch something so sad. Alright. I find something cute. Damn it. Shit. Um, uh, anything. Anything. Ah, damn it. Shit.
All right, here's a video.
これね、平で叩けるかもしれない。あ、平で叩いてこうやって。平で叩いてこうやって。僕らの感覚だとこうするでしょ。こうついててほしいんだよね。
This is probably the closest technique to our unique pairing techniques in our Ryuha, as I mentioned you.
あ、なかなかいい。ちょっとぶつかるが。なかなかいい。ちょっとぶつかりました。
皆さんこんにちは and welcome to Lasas Six Sensei. Hello, I'm your host Shogo from Lasas Shogo, and this is Six Sensei. Six Sensei, 本日もよろしくお願いいたします。お願いします。こちらですね。
わかんない。
これ実はロングソードです。
どう使っていいかわかんない。
そうなんですよ。そう。全然ちょっとロングソードと刀全く違うものではあるんですけれども、まあたくさんですね。関先生はヒーマンについてどうお考えですかっていう実 Six Sensei is a Kobudo master with more than 40 years of experience in training with Japanese katana. However, none of us have any experience with Western swords. But I thought it might be interesting to hand a longsword to Six Sensei, who doesn't know anything about it, and see how he would try to use it. So today, Six Sensei, a 22nd headmaster of Kobudo Asayama Shinryu with 400 years of history, will try fighting with a longsword with zero experience and knowledge. I hope this video will be interesting for anyone training with longswords to see what a katana master would think of doing with a longsword. However, again, we have no experience with Hima and longswords, so if we were making any mistakes or have any misunderstandings, please let us know in the comments. By the way, tickets for a 3-day training camp in Japan by Six Sensei and Asus Shogo are now on sale. Check out our Patreon page for more information. So then, let's get started. After Six Sensei swung the longsword around in the dojo for a while, there was something he wanted to say immediately.
これがちょっと自分に当たりそうになるね。邪魔な感じがするね。
ですよね。音がすごいですね。
こう危ない。
あ、確かに。For katana users, the handguard that stretches to the side is something that we are not used to. If you try to swing it like a katana, the handguard hits your head and shoulders. So Six Sensei has a question for any longsword trainees watching this video.
僕らの感覚だとこうするでしょ。こうついててほしいんだよね。知りたいとこ逆にもう何もわからない。
From our point of view, we would want the handguard to be stretching in the direction of the sharp edge. Why is it in this direction, and how should we handle it correctly? Are we doing something wrong? But there was—
I think it's for the weight weight distribution, like for the swing. Is I think I could be wrong.
one part that he liked very much.
これはいいね。
下のところでストッパーがついてるっていう。Because the end of the hilt is slightly larger, you can throw thrust the sword forward and it stops in your hand. This is actually a technique you can do with the katana too. We'll make a video about that soon. Then let's have Tsukara-san join with a bokuto to see how you could fight against the katana. The various obvious difference between the longsword and the katana is:
反りがないからね。反りを使えないです単純にね。
For example, using the maki techniques we've introduced before is very difficult without a curve. Other typical techniques like ukenagashi and hitting the katana away worked, but Six Sensei was constantly surprised by how long the sword could reach. However, when he tried half swording, we found a problem.
あ、これが。
The handguard got caught in the opening of the kimono. There are various theories, but this could be another reason why the tsuba handguards of Japanese katana are round. But because the tsuba is round, it doesn't do as much guarding as a longsword.
ただ受けんのには安定するね。ガンこう。これ絶対安定する。
刀のつばより全然安定しますね。
全然安定するね。
ダン! You could do something similar with the katana, but it wouldn't be so stable. After trying various techniques with the longsword, there was something that Six Sensei realized.
これでさ、こう使うと反りがないけど、こう使えば使えるのかな？こう平でこうペンと。そう一電流のような作用ができる。
If you flip the sword and use the wide side of the blade, you can parry the opponent's sword. This is probably the closest technique to our unique parry techniques in our Ryuha, Asayama Shinryu. Then, if this is possible, Six Sensei thought up another technique you might be able to use.
これね、平で叩けるかもしれない。平で叩いてこうやってる。平で叩いてこうやってる。日本刀だったら刃でやるのね。刃でやってこっちへこう返すんですよ。これ平でね、平で叩いてこうやる。ほら。ほら。勝手にそれてくる。勝手にそれてくる。
If you try to use this technique from the Jodan upper stance, you must make some adjustments.
こうなっちゃうけどね。こうなっちゃうけどね。だから引いて使おうかな俺が。そうすると突きになるから。こう。お。こう。お。あ、なかなかいい。ちょっといいところが。なかなかいいところ見つかりましたね。平に当ててこうするっていうのが。なかなかいい。いい発見ですね。
Thanks to Six Sensei realizing this technique, he started to like the longsword very much. Then from here, Tsukara-san will hold the longsword instead to see how Six Sensei will fight against it with a katana. After trying out a variety of techniques, there was something that Six Sensei realized.
そっか、これね、真ん中にしのぎ立ってっからだ。案外とそれちゃう。ああ、なるほど。だからこう当てが。そうするとほら
でも、スパンって言ってしまうんですね。
でこう当てがうとこう入る。
Shinogi is a word that refers to the ridges on the blade. Because the shinogi of the longsword is in the middle of the blade, there are two sides where the blade could get parried away, which is much more easily parried than a katana if you use our Asami Shenryu techniques.
合わせない方がいいけんだね。だからこうやっといてブンブンくるね、合力でブンブンくる。
Baba ng drop rate
合
naman
わせる
nito.
とやりやすいね。基本と合わせると。
This was the biggest and most interesting
Like, come on, dude. 300%. Hindi pa rin ako nakakuha. They gotta increase the amount, the drop rate for the Drain Knight. In real. Full guns is easy. That only took me like 2 hours to get like 50 pieces of those from scratch. This one, I had like, when did I start? 30? I only get like, what, 10 per hour? What the hell? I'm getting the rare drops, the moon split nail more than this one. What the hell? Just like, come on. How rare is this thing? What a waste of time. I mean, if there's like stock for the cup of sorrows, yeah, sure. But no one's selling these like at all. I get it now. It's a fucking pain in the ass.
finding we had this day. In traditional Japanese kenjutsu, effectively using the shinogi to block, parry, and attack is very important.
God damn it. It's gonna take a while. I should get around 20 per hour, but no. I mean, even this with this kind of mob density, there's not enough dropping like that. Bullshit.
Hello guys, it's your boy Number Franz. Today's video is quite weird. I'm only going to be opening one case, and it is probably the luckiest case I have ever opened. Basically, on my account, only one case was opened and one knife was unboxed, and it's a very good knife. It's a butterfly lore. But before I show you that case, I want to give some backstory as to why this singular case that I opened is so incredibly lucky. But before that, I'd like to thank today's video sponsor, which is Skinport. Then please do so from the link in the description, and thank you once again for sponsoring this video. So, why this singular case that I opened was so insanely lucky is because Linda had some family members over. She's my half-sister, so she has other family. And she was basically just explaining to them what cases were and what skins were because they weren't really aware. She basically just said them that skins are just colors on weapons you get in-game and you get them from cases. And her family was wondering, what are cases? How do they work? So she had the brilliant idea, let's open one case just to show them what it's like. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. So we walk over to Linda's computer to open one case, but because of the recent CS2 updates, she couldn't start CS. So we had to go downstairs to my computer, and I said, yeah, whatever, I can open one case on my account. She asked what case, and I said Dreams and Nightmares, because that's one of my favorite cases. And I told everyone, this is going to be very boring. We're just gonna get a blue. To even get something that's remotely fun, you probably have to open like 300-400 cases. So I was preparing her family for a big letdown, and
304 cases? Like, how much is that? 2.5. 2.5 bucks times 304. 760. Just for the keys. How about the cases? How much is the case? Like $1? 80? 80. 80. Akala ko moon split na yun. So 304 sevens. 304 times, let's say $2 per case. Let's say 2.5 then. 2.5. So 760 times 2. That's like what? $1,500. The hell? How much is that in peso? 85,000. That's like what? One video card? A GTX 480 Ti? Shit.
Then the one singular Dreams and Nightmares case was being opened. I thought I might as well record it on my phone because I've literally recorded every single case I've ever opened, and this is what happened. Oh my god! Oh my god! Den är 30 000! 30 000! Den är fucking Den är well worn! Den är 20-30 000! Va? Jag sa ju att man skulle filma!
So even if his family is in their home, he still wears a balaclava. The hell?
Alltså va? Nej! Alltså va? Vänta, va? Den kostar... Åh, det laddar. Oh my fucking... Den kostar 1641 euro. Så typ 20 000 kronor. Nice! Va? Alltså jag skakar. Alltså va? Nej.
Come on! Drain Knight, hello?
Nej. Det har hänt en gång och det var Linda som gjorde det.
Crimson Bell, nice. I wish I could get another one, so I would stack 3 of them or 2 of them. I mean,
So yes, we actually ended up getting this butterfly knife lore well worn, which is insanely lucky from one singular case. It's literally listed on Steam for 1,800 euro, which is insane. So this is by far the luckiest one case that I've ever opened, and the second time that I've ever seen a gold be opened from only one case. I've seen it twice, this time and once before when Linda opened one case and got a pair of Omega gloves minimal wear. However, this one obviously is worth way more now. Sadly, both of those times that I've seen it in real life, I haven't opened it. Linda's gloves, she opened herself, and this knife, Linda's younger brother actually opened, so this is very, very sad. But still, nonetheless, very cool that it was caught on video, because if I heard this story myself, I probably wouldn't believe it, that someone was just going to show, hey, this is how cases work, I'm gonna show, you know, my family how it works, and then they open a knife?
so pretty much you're teaching your family members to gamble.
Emoji pattern here on the play side. God
Goddamn.
damn, you see the poop emoji? That's a lot overpay, guys, actually. But yeah, I had to make a video about this one case wonder, which is by far the craziest case that I've ever opened. Even more so because it was supposed to be a blue. We were just gonna show how cases works, and I'm pretty sure now Linda's younger brother is kind of hooked to case opening, because the last thing he said before he went home was that he was gonna start opening cases because his luck was insane. Which I don't think that's a very good
That's
sign.
not a good idea. You're such a bad influence, dude. Such a bad idea. Any video I want to watch? I want something. Happy whispers of young spirits nearby. Oh no. Ooh, this is interesting.
What possesses someone to risk it all for an easy win?
This kid is tracked.
This is the most egregious I have ever seen. What drives a player to do the unthinkable?
He's cheating, dude.
Hey, 68. Thank you.
Why would anyone assume they can pull one over on everyone else and get away with it?
I'm gonna restart my game and I'm gonna have aimbot. You will see. Trust me, you will see.
What actually goes on inside the mind of a cheater? Hey everyone, before we try to figure out why cheaters do what they do, just a quick reminder that if you enjoy yourself today, a like on the video, as well as a subscription to the channel and ringing that notification bell really does help us know that you're enjoying yourself. We also have merch. Check out the esports collection at shop.thescore.com. And now let's see what
How long I've been streaming? 1 hour?
they do. If you know anything about esports, you know about Optic Gaming's Forsaken, the man who single-handedly destroyed the Indian CSGO scene after he was caught cheating at Extremes Land South Asia 2018.
Gonna get some nice positioning up on the side.
Yon 69.
To get
Nice.
rid of Fog to the 2v2.
Come on, I wanna get out of here. I wanna
Player out quite
grind
well.
in Giants again.
No fake plan.
This place
Worked out well
sucks.
for Optic.
Forsaken's life as a pro player was obviously over as soon as he got caught. Cheating is the #1 cardinal sin of esports, and for good reason.
He's out in the Russian wilderness just sniping. Did Emilio just get back banned? What? What?
No matter what level you play at, no matter what the stakes are, the only truly unforgivable, bannable offense we have is cheating. And, well, when there's thousands of dollars of prize money on the line, people take it pretty seriously.
Is this him? Loser! Hey, let me do whatever the f*** I want. Loser! Loser! Yes, I do. He's a loser.
Cheaters get under people's skin in a way few things can.
You can't even get up a ladder, but you have 100 KD, right? Nice f***ing automated system. Dog shit. You should feel bad about yourself, actual. I'd say get your money back, but it's a free game.
Yes, 70. Nice.
You shouldn't have to cheat in a game, period. I mean, if you don't have the skill, don't play the game. And it's all about having fun. And when you're out there busting your butt, especially at my age and with my handicaps, to get in the top 5 and then get taken out by a cheater before you get to #1, I still don't understand. And a lot of people don't.
But besides a blind desire to win, what actually drives people to cheat? Like, if you know it's going to make you the most hated person on earth, why would you ever do it? Surely a few fake wins can't be worth a lifetime of infamy and ridicule, right?
Hey, just why did I reload? What the f? Oh my god, I'm stupid.
She needs an aimbot though, B, because your aim is rough, bro.
Well, as with most things, there isn't a single right answer. To start, there are a ton of ways to cheat. Those include, but are not limited to, glitches, in-game exploits, wall hacks, radar hacks, aimbots, flying cars.
Oh, can you take me to the zone real quick?
Yeah. I actually sell these cheats for a living.
Wait, don't.
He sounds Chinese.
Fortunately, the people who weed out and eliminate cheaters for a living, specifically the guys from Easy Anti-Cheat, sorted the offenders into several categories a few years back. Those categories are casuals, griefers, vigilantes, followers, and achievers. Casuals are usually players who just want to make the game a little easier for themselves.
Sorry for cheating, guys. I'm just at CSGO, and it's like my second time cheating on my main.
Griefers are exactly what they sound like, and mostly cheat to aggravate and ruin the game for other players.
Yo, you know what's funny? Cheating in Twitch Rivals. How funny is that, bro?
Sorry, man.
Let's all laugh at it, you son of a bitch.
I'm sorry you couldn't win, Tyler. I'm sorry. Dude,
You're a star loser, XQC, and you have to stream snipe and hold my members down.
Vigilantes are trying to give griefers a taste of their own medicine. Unintended casualties be damned.
What's your purpose right now? Are you killing other cheaters as a cheater, or are you just f***ing smoking fools? What's the plan?
What?
What's the plan, bro? You said you killed a cheater. Like, explain to me.
Yeah, I killed a guy with the 40 KD.
Okay. Well, I'm Chris Sanson from Dateline NBC. I'm gonna need you to take a seat over there at those chairs, bro.
Followers are doing it because everyone else is, and they don't want to fall behind as a result of staying on the straight and narrow.
Look at this. Look how bored the suspect is right now. He's just like, you know what? These guys are hacking a lot quicker than I can hack, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm just gonna sit here. These stupid cheaters are ruining the game and preventing me from cheating, darn it.
And then we have the honestly weirdest category of all, achievers. These are people who need to win no matter what to prove to themselves and others that they are indeed the best at a game.
So, you know, this person...
How can you say that to yourself, though?
An AMP plus simulator, which essentially just put in like a power value, for example, like
What? I don't get the logic there. Oh, nice.
The game will just sit at 400 watts without, like, you
what the hell? 71?
Like, bro, you're cheating. You wouldn't need to do that if you were actually the best.
What are you doing?
But there's no way around the fact that these days, people put a lot of value into their rank in their games of choice. And some of those people are willing to do just about anything to get the rank they want.
Yay.
Psychologically
7.
significant something is to you,
Oh, she's
the more
cute.
it forms a part of your identity. If you're a person who plays a lot of games and, you know, you buy games merchandise and you spend 6 hours a day and you know, try to place in tournaments and stuff, it's very likely that playing games, being a gamer, is a big part of your identity, right?
Yay,
It's hard to
73.
separate out sometimes like games from the rest of society, and I think with the rise of more of our activities being digital, you know, there's a growing sense of, you know, like what can you get away with in an online space, or and it's not just
That's
about
some
cheating,
psychopath
but it's
shit,
about
in my
ethics
opinion.
and what do you consider
Like, really?
right or decent.
Okay, so cheating motivations, once someone has decided to cheat, can vary.
So hey Raider, you kick people offline if you don't like them?
Just that little kid that wouldn't shut up.
So in other words, you kick people offline when you don't like them?
Pretty much.
Understandable, I suppose, but where does the very impulse to cheat in the first place even come from? Nature? Nurture? Somewhere else? As can be expected with anything that grinds people's gears, the subject of cheating has been discussed ad nauseum online. But we wanted to take a look at the actual behavioral science behind the phenomenon. Luckily, there's no shortage of academic research into gaming's most annoying problem. Thing is, the findings of the research into video game cheaters can get complicated. One theory is that, in what's called social contagion, cheating tends to spread like an infection within groups of gamers. You see someone doing it, and you want to do it too. But it's also entirely possible that the real reason for the insidious proliferation of cheating has to do with homophily, which is essentially a fancy name for associating with people with whom you have something in common. So, in the case of cheaters, someone with characteristics that...
What is it? Homophily? Like, what? Never heard of it before.
makes them predisposed to playing dirty will automatically gravitate towards other potential cheaters to begin with, which means that contagion could actually be an illusion.
So Shet can DOS people, Ponk is going nuke, Test account has the Spinbot horror stuff, and S14 is maybe? I don't know. Heck if I know, brother.
Some research also suggests your age, gender, and how long you've been playing can be a determining factor for whether or not someone cheats. Now, you might assume that cheaters would predominantly be young males, but that's where you'd be wrong. It just so happens that's the demographic most widely represented in gaming in general, which obviously skews the numbers when it comes to cheating stats as well. But actually, given the opportunity, absolutely anyone can succumb to a temptation to cheat.
What the fuck is that?
Situation, almost anybody will cheat. You know, one thing that can definitely drive people to cheat in like multiplayer situations is if they feel like everybody else is cheating. At that point, it becomes almost like fair play. You know, this idea that, well, everybody else is, and so if I want to compete on an equal footing, I have to as well.
So what's to be done about cheaters? It's obviously a complex issue that requires an equally nuanced approach. Nuanced and
Like, I don't know, castrate them? You know what? No, no, no. Go for the source. The Chinese guys who makes cheats for a living. Like, they sell those.
enough to get your brain MRI'd. A 2009 neurobiological study conducted at Harvard revealed that when given the opportunity to cheat in a coin flip guessing game, honest participants showed no changes in their brain activity, meaning they weren't even tempted to do it. Meanwhile, the brains of people who chose to cheat and lie about whether they picked heads or tails after the fact were lighting up like Christmas trees every single time, even when they were actually telling the truth.
Once you start playing with a cheat, you can't stop. It's a lot harder to play legit when you're not given the unfair advantage.
So does that mean that some people are just born cheaters?
I try not to think of people themselves as cheaters as being tied to their identity, but as an activity that they can engage in. And sometimes it's also something that they do for a certain period in their lives, for certain reasons, or it's fun, or in a particular game. But they would never do it
74.
in another situation, or you know, they do it for a bit of time and then they kind of
We go to bed.
it's over, or it wasn't worth it, or whatever reasons, right?
There There was one thing that stuck with me though after doing all this digging into cheaters. One of the academic papers I looked at was a study in which participants were asked to rate an opponent on various characteristics after playing with them. What the people involved in the experiment didn't know was that their opponent wasn't a person. They were a computer, one that had been programmed to play normally about half the time and then cheat the rest of it. And what do you know? The cheaters were rated as more human. And on top of that, when the cheating wasn't particularly egregious, the human players were more engaged with the game than they would have been otherwise.
He's hacking, he's hacking, he's hacking. Take him serious, he's hacking. Jameson, you gotta shoot him. Oh, whoa, dude.
Yeah, he is hacking, he is hacking.
Bro.
He's actually
He
cheating.
can't build, he can't build, man. Don't.
In other words, in a very fundamental way, people feel that there's something natural about an inclination to cheat. After all, to err is human. And maybe wall hacking is too.
It becomes part of the fabric of how you behave online. What are the acceptable behaviors in certain spaces? Even though I said like it's a cultural and contextual and a social activity,
Cultural?
it
No.
does help you form a sense of yourself in terms of what you want to do, what you're capable of doing.
So whatever may be inside the mind of a cheater, insecurity, rogue brainwaves, Satan, the core part
Satan.
isn't all that radically different from the rest of us.
I haven't been like selling anything. I've just been helping out friends, having fun. Mostly just, I don't really kill legit players unless it's for like tasks, but I mostly just with other cheaters.
Yeah, I have morals.
They're probably pushing forward, maybe? Yeah, that guy's not killable. That guy is not killable.
Oh my god, just
Holy shit, he has 14 kills, bro. What the?
This is why sometimes I stop playing competitive games. Especially FPS. I rarely play them. Like, unlike before. Like back in the early days of CS:GO, yeah, I religiously play that game. Because there isn't a lot of cheaters back then. But now, it seems like there is a lot of them. Ever since the game became free to play. That game sucks. Shit, I'm already done. I need to go. Maybe just one more bit. So how many do I need left? 25. God damn it. It's gonna take a while, huh? Shibal. Shibashiki. Sheesh.
applying aqueous sealant.
Is that part of her brain? That's the green ghost.
Did you find all the pieces?
I used to worship this guy as a kid.
Cap me in the neck now. Watch out. Sometimes it affects the spine. Oh!
Beginning nanosuscitation. Locking in neural stabilizer. Omni-Man's alive!
Get out of the way! That's all we can do here. Get ready for transport. Go, go, go! Careful, don't bump her. Never seen anything like this.
From one giant shit show to another.
Give me some good news, Donald.
Whoever did this cut the power and the backup. They killed the cameras and the security systems. Forensics, frankly, is stumped. I told them to start over and try harder.
That's not good news. That's not good news at all. I asked you for some good news, Donald. Get the hell out. Everyone.
Come on, you heard the director. Move it!
Come on out. I know you're there.
Wasn't hiding.
Sir, who the
Damien Darkblood, Demon Detective.
Seven superheroes murdered. Strongest man on the planet almost dead. No suspects, no leads.
How does he...
I don't know. Demon magic or something. If you're asking if we need your help...
Wasn't asking.
Fine. Knock yourself out. Help us solve the case, oh great horned Holmes.
Sir, are you sure?
You got a problem with the demon? Thought you were an atheist, Donald.
Theoretically.
I need the room. Now.
Level 6. Nice.
Well, enlighten me.
Know one thing for sure. No one else at scene of murders. Only Guardians. Omni-Man. Which means killer must be one of them.
One of them? There's 100 supervillains who don't leave a trace. Who turn into smoke, or living electricity, or only exist in dreams.
I know. You don't listen to...
You listen! And you mention your idiotic thoughts to anyone, and I mean anybody! I'll make sure they're the last thoughts you ever have. You understand me? Now get out. Get out! Before I send you back to help myself.
Blind old man.
Put an A6 surveillance team on the Graysons.
Sir?
The killer's still out there, Donald. Might decide to finish the job.
I'm not a monster. I didn't want to do it. But it had to be done. It was my responsibility. Other people won't understand that, but I know you can. What I'm about to tell you will change everything. Just remember, you're my son, and I love you and your mother more than... What am I doing? Mark? Debbie? What did you do? Cecil.
Yeesh. Wow, she just pointed at.
No, wait. Just wait. You've been spying on me? On my family?
No, it was for your family's protection.
You were always so pathetic, Donald. Cecil's little lapdog.
Run now!
Oof.
It's been an honor, sir. Who are you talking to?
monster. He's not dead. Even after evacuating the neighborhood, we had to keep the yield down. Best it'll do is knock him on his ass for an hour or two. Or maybe not even hurt him at all.
He's going to find Mark. I don't know who Nolan is anymore. I don't know what he's going to do.
Me neither. So we better find Mark first.
Okay, son. Bear with me. This is going to be a little awkward for both of us. You may have noticed that I'm not like normal dads. Your mother and I think it's time you knew the truth. We think you're old enough.
I think I lost a Gin Viper. I think. Did I? I lost one. What the fuck? So I did lose one. Oh, I didn't. What the hell? Okay.
For me to tell you where I really come from. Millions of miles from here, out in deep space, is the planet Viltrum. It's a cool blue oasis alone in a solar system much like our own. I was born on this planet. Viltrumites are very similar to humans, except we can fly, move at super speed, and possess great strength. When our people come of age, we leave Viltrum and venture out into the galaxy, using our abilities to help lesser developed worlds. I volunteered to relocate to Earth and be its sole protector. That's when I met your mother. And we eventually had you. I know this is a lot to take in at one time, but you're half Viltrumite, son.
You know, ever since Mark got his powers, you've been different.
I'm trying to teach him.
You've been distant, annoyed at everything, and you've been mean.
I've been under a lot of stress.
You've been talking about home. You never talk about home.
I want Mark to know his people.
I don't even know your people. I've never even met another Viltrumite.
I've told you.
You've told me stories, yes, but that's not the same. You're hiding something from me, and it hurts.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not.
You're not what?
I never thought I would have a family. And then you came along. And I love you and Mark.
As a pet.
So much. But when I see Mark with his powers, and after what happened to the Guardians, I'm terrified I could lose everything. You don't understand the choices we have to make. You're not a superhero.
When you first came here, you didn't know anything about humans or our society or what was important to us.
And?
I taught you all that. I showed you how to be a hero here. And suddenly you think I can't do that for Mark?
That's not what I meant. I think Mark is putting his trust in someone he shouldn't, instead of listening to me. To us. Even when we disagree. He's only been a hero for a few months. He thinks he knows everything. I just don't want him to make a choice he'll regret.
I'm a good liar. I'm a very good liar. But you're better. You fooled her. Hell, you fooled all of us for what? 20 years? Wait, does Mark know that his dad's a murderer? Does he know? No? Well, what's he gonna do when he finds out, huh?
I think he's dead.
Mark. We need to talk.
If I get one more drain night, I'm gonna go to bed. What time is it? Okay.
This isn't how I wanted to do this.
10:19.
I don't have a choice. It's time for you to know where I really come from. I am from Viltrum, but it's not the planet I've told you about. We have created a perfect civilization, but it took all of our strength, determination, and courage to get there. In order for our people to reach their full potential, we had to remove the weak from our society. It was a long and difficult process. When it was over, our population was cut in half. But what emerged from the ashes was unstoppable. By the time I was born, Viltrum was already the greatest empire in our galaxy. We decided to make it the only empire in our galaxy. Once I was old enough, I joined the war effort. It was hard, but I believe in our cause. Some species resisted, of course, but no one could withstand us for long. Soon our empire encompassed thousands of planets. But as our territory grew, our forces were stretched thin and our expansion stopped. We needed a better, more efficient way to conquer worlds. Our most trusted officers were each given a planet to weaken by themselves. I was one of those lucky few. I couldn't tell your mother why I was here. But that time's come to an end. And now, we need to get Earth ready to join the Viltrum Empire.
Wait.
Mark, this is good news. We can finally do what we were meant to do, be who we were meant to be.
You lied to me.
You couldn't know the truth. Not until you had your powers, not until I was sure.
Sure of what?
Sure you were a Viltrumite.
So if I wasn't, I'd just be one more human to conquer? No, this doesn't make any sense. You love me. You love Mom. I know you do.
Do you have any idea how long we live? The older we get, the slower we age. Viltrumite DNA is so pure, you're nearly full-blooded. You'll live for thousands of years. Do you understand what that means? Everyone you know and love will be gone before you even look 30. It's not something I want for you. This isn't your world. It's theirs. But we can help them. We can stop wars, eliminate hunger, give them medical technology centuries ahead of what they have now. We've already been doing it.
Lord,
If it
they're-
wasn't for you and me, this planet would be in flames. All we have to do is welcome Earth into our empire. I do love your mother, but she's more like a pet to me.
A pet?
This is the only way, Mark.
Don't touch me.
Calm down.
I will not calm down. This is insane. What do you think is gonna happen? That I'm gonna go enslave my friends for a bunch of aliens I've never met? This is my life. These are my people.
We have a responsibility to Viltrum.
I don't give a shit about Viltrum. And I don't care if I live a fucking million years. This is my home, and I won't let you destroy it.
You don't know what you're saying. And I can't let you interfere.
I know exactly what I'm saying.
So be it. Do you really think you can stop me?
Welcome to the first video in our coverage of the new Amazon series Invincible. Invincible is actually an incredible comic that I've had the pleasure of speed reading recently, and while I had read the early arcs of the series a number of times, I'm glad I finally dedicated myself to reading the whole thing. The main series ran for over 140 issues with a couple dozen tie-in issues, which you don't really need to know, but I wanted you to appreciate how many comics I read this week. Normally I would start a series like this with the actual main character of the show, Mark Ryzen, aka Invincible, and that video is absolutely coming next, but I wanted to start off on a different note and talk about a character in the show and in the comics that is the most interesting to me. Now, maybe it's because I've always liked villains more than heroes, or maybe it's because I'm actually training to take over the world myself, but since starting reading the series, I have gravitated towards Omni-Man, and he's become one of my favorite characters in comics ever. Today's video is on the comic origins and a brief history of the most powerful hero, then villain, then hero, again, Nolan Grayson, the Omni-Man. Now, before we go any farther, keep in mind that this video is going to contain the majority of his significant actions within the comics, so that means that there is a good chance it's going to contain a ton of spoilers for the show. So as long as we are in complete agreement, let's continue. Omni-Man's first appearance was in, you guessed it, issue 1 of Invincible. Nolan Grayson is the husband to Deborah Grayson and father to Mark Grayson, who would go on to become Invincible. Omni-Man is widely recognized as Earth's most powerful superhero, and sometimes he's a member of the Guardians of the Globe, a team that closely resembles the Justice League. And I'm not going to discuss the history of those members ever, and you'll learn why in a few seconds. Nolan Grayson is first and foremost an alien, a member of the Viltrumite race who came from the planet Viltrum. As Nolan's son Mark approaches his 18th birthday, Nolan plans to start training Mark, who's half Viltrumite and half Earthling. Nolan has told Mark his entire life about the Viltrumite people. They are a benevolent race of beings who evolved through a form of Darwinism, i.e. only the strong survive. After years of breeding the strongest of their people, they go out into the stars and begin to defend the universe for other fledgling planets. Nolan was stationed on Earth, where he met Mark's mother and became Earth's greatest champion. We also learn that Viltrumites live to be thousands of years old, and that their speed and strength is some of, if not the highest known in the universe. Additionally, they get more powerful as they age, so it's fairly rare for a young Viltrumite to be stronger than a fully matured or even an elderly one. When Nolan's son Mark turns 18, his powers kick in and he starts to fight crime under the name Invincible, a name that's truly put to the test many times throughout the series. One of the earliest adventures of the two is repelling a Flaxan invasion, where Nolan ends up stranded in another dimension for months. The Flaxans go on to be a major recurring species throughout the series, and I will discuss them in far greater detail when I cover Robot. So, for those of you who have already seen the first episode, you already know the biggest twist of the early part of the series. Nolan is not exactly who he says he is. One day, the entire Guardians of the Globe team is summoned to their main base, where they are systematically dismantled by Nolan. Nolan kills all of them, easily. He slaughters the entire team and leaves the planet to believe they were attacked by some unknown assailant. The remaining superheroes of Earth are obviously shocked to learn of their passing, including Mark, who looked up to the team and aspired to one day be a member of them. However, after one of the teammates of the Guardians of the Globe, Immortal, survives, Nolan decides that he has to tell Mark the gruesome truth, that it was he who killed the Guardians of the Globe. Nolan then explains to Mark the truth about the Viltrumite people and their empire, and that Nolan's true purpose on Earth was to conquer it. The Viltrumites were not as benevolent as they claimed to be. They were bred to be the strongest beings in the universe after thousands of years of infighting, selective breeding, and eugenics. The Viltrumites expanded over time and began to conquer worlds, but soon found out that they really only needed one Viltrumite per planet. They would go from planet to planet and offer a trade. A planet would allow themselves to be subjugated, and in exchange for that subjugation and a large chunk of their natural resources, the Viltrumites would protect them and provide them with their technology. If they refused, well, they'd be eradicated and the resources would be taken anyway. Nolan was stationed on Earth. He met Mark's mother, interbred with her, and assumed the guise of Nolan Grayson, author, husband, and superhero. However, now that Mark's powers had kicked in, he believed it was time for him to get back to his mission and the reason he was sent to Earth. Mark is obviously shocked to learn that his father is essentially asking him to take over the planet and rule them. Mark refuses, and he and Nolan fight, and the battle is absolutely brutal, and Mark is drastically overpowered by Nolan. Nolan beats him nearly to death, but shockingly leaves Earth. He flies out into space, and Mark and the rest of the planet are left to wonder what will happen.
Hey,
Nolan will
okay.
return with more Viltrumite.
I'm done for the night. I just need 22 more. Fuck this game. Even with the drop rate event and still nothing. Should I go for Arsha one? So fucking low. Oh, it's 6 points. Nice. Okay, I'm going off. So tired.